Today we've got an interesting vehicle, the Porsche 356 by Hot Wheels that's considered to be an outlaw. Now generally an outlaw Porsche is something that has, perhaps a motor from a different manufacturer or modifications that would not be approved of by the Porsche Club. I don't know what designates this particular car as an outlaw, but it's considered to be 356 Outlaw. Now, this car is a pretty car on the surface, but when you start looking at it deeper, you find a lot of flaws with the car. So I have a love-hate relationship with this particular car. Love the Gulf colors, but the tempo on this car is pretty bad. So let's review the car. Let's start off with Fandom and tell you what they have to say about the car. Fandom refers to this car as the Porsche 356A Outlaw. Now, perhaps the folks at Fandom know more than I do about this car because I'm not a 356 expert by any means. So I question the A designation, but I can live with it. So they say, Porsche 356 Outlaw, debut series Hot Wheels showroom, produced from 2016 up until the present. The designer being Mark Jones and the SKU being DHP11. Then we come on down, let's read the description here. This Porsche 356A Outlaw is the second installment of the Porsche 356 Coupe introduced in 1956. The 356A is often called among its enthusiasts the T1 because of the factory designation Type 1. The Hot Wheels casting is detailed with notches to simulate the ventilation for the rear-fitted engine and a fuel filler cap through the hood. This casting is modeled after a lightly customized 356A by Porsche King Magnus Walker. Now, I question the word Porsche King Magnus Walker, that being the word king. Magnus Walker is not the king of Porsches. Magnus Walker is a customizer that loves to use the term urban outlaw. So to me, this is kind of an offensive description because there's plenty of people out there producing Porsche Outlaw. Magnus Walker is not the king. He's good, but he's not the king. Okay, let's take a look at the car. We'll start from the left side and head to the right. First of all, you see the little tail light back there, no tampo on it. Then we see the orange stripe going along the bottom of the car. Now that's not the color of the base, but it is a paint color, orange, and then you got a little black stripe around that, and then you got the, what is that, baby blue, sky blue of the Gulf colors, blue and orange. Looks pretty good. Looks really good, in fact. You got dark windows on this car. You got windows rolled up. You have no mirrors on this car. You do have a doorknob on this car. Below the little quarter window in the rear, you'll find the Hot Wheels logo in black there. Then you'll see the number 68 on the door. Now, if you start noticing, that 68 is inside the little circle and it's crooked. The tampo has been placed in there, or either the tampo has been printed off center. So the 68 is not in the center. Yeah, it's a mainline car, so you kind of expect this, but as we review this car more, you'll see more and more inconsistencies, which are very disappointing. Moving on, you still got the orange stripe and the black stripe at the bottom of the car, and then you've got the Gulf logo on the front right quarter panel there, the fender, and that logo is way off. You can see the Gulf is in location, the orange is in the wrong location. It's not centered in the circle, the black circle. So it's just disappointing to say the least. You've got aero disc wheels on this car, which I've said it before, I'm not a fan of aero disc wheels, and quite frankly, every car that I've ever had that had aero disc wheels has been a slow car on the track, and this car is no exception to that rule. I tried it on the track with a couple of other slow cars last night, and this car is the slowest of the slow car. It has a short wheelbase, which means it tends to fishtail, and not only does it fishtail, but it is very narrow. It's much narrower than majority of the Hot Wheels out there. In fact, this car is so narrow that its wheels will almost, the exterior dimensions of the wheels from a width standpoint on the axle, they will almost fit within the interior axle dimension of the wheels of a regular Hot Wheels car. It's that small of a car. So it does really terribly on the track. Lastly, you'll see modeled in the actual body of the car, right in front of the rear wheel, you'll find the jack point on a 356. Pretty neat little touch there, but the tempo leaves a lot to be desired. The 2 o'clock position reveals a couple more things about the car we haven't seen from the side. That being the center stripe going down the roof and of the hood, and it also reveals the gas filler cap that's in the hood. The front of this car pretty much defines the car itself. If you look at the stripe on the roof and then the stripe on the hood, they're not matched up. They do not line up. If you look at the stripe on the hood, when it meets the front bumper, you see that the blue outline is not matched up with the orange stripe. If you look at the headlights, no paint. Turn signals, no paint. No paint on the hood latches, which are actually, I think they're leather. Then there's the gas filler cap, and then you've got the tempo over there of the race number. I think that's a 68. They're all kind of loosey-goosey, not done very well at all. Saving grace, you got a couple of air inlets on the front. It looks nice. Other than that, car is pretty poor. The 10 o'clock position reveals basically the same tempo scheme as the 2 o'clock position. So I'm not going to go into that. You can go back and review the 2 o'clock to know what's going on at the 10 o'clock. Let's use the left side of the car to talk about a few of the paint and tempo issues. First of all, left front on the fender, there's a orange stripe that shouldn't be there. I hope you can see it as I zoom in on it. And then the Gulf symbology is just bad, really bad. Are their printers at Hot Wheels that bad that they print this badly? Then you've got the paint down at the jack point of the car. The paint is all over the place. It's not good. And then you got the paint in the door jamb. Not good. So there you go. Paint and tempo. Paint and tempo. It's really loosey-goosey on this car. Lastly, I hope you can see it, but there's bubbling in the paint right above the wheel there on the fender well. Kind of between the Hot Wheels and the very top of the fender well. There's bubbles. That's not good. The rear of this car shows you just how much of this car is missing some paint. The grille could be painted, the taillights could be painted. The only thing that has a little bit of tempo or paint work is going to be the exhaust, and that's in the color of the base in the first place. The rear of the car shows, once again, basically no tempo work. Car would look nice if it had red taillights. Car would look nice if it had chrome engine grille. Car would look nice if it had like a latch or something for the engine bay cover. But no, this car has none of that, and it's just about as plain Jane as you can get. The 4 o'clock position shows basically the same information as the 8 o'clock position, and I won't go any further on that. Top-down position shows a couple of things we haven't seen before. First, there's the mounting locations for the windshield wipers. No, there's no windshield wipers there, but there are the mounting locations. Now, no windshield wipers kind of corresponds properly with an Outlaw vehicle. An Outlaw might not have windshield wipers. Secondly, the tempo once again is not done very well on the hood by the vent there between the windshield wipers. Thirdly, there's a spot on here. Now, I can't identify whether this is supposed to be on here or whether it's not supposed to be on here. I'm going with not supposed to be on here right at the moment. It's brown, it's a little bit irregularly shaped, and I can't find it on any 356A images that I see on the internet. The only thing I think of is perhaps it's an engine, battery, kill switch location. But even then, it doesn't look correct for that. On the base plate of this car, you'd find what you'd hope to find, which is you got an exhaust modeled, you've got a transmission modeled, you've got a couple of axles modeled, you got a little bit of something going on up front modeled, and then of course you got your usual name of the car there. So the base is pretty complete. I've seen worse, that's for sure. So there you have it, folks. Porsche 356A Outlaw. I personally have my problems with the car, the aero disc, the bad tempo, the bad paint, but from a 5,000 foot level, you look at the car, it looks fantastic. Once you get up close, it leaves a lot to be desired. So hope you enjoy the review. Please like and subscribe. Have a great day.